Abdullah, could you tell us what you think South Africa needs to do to take advantage and leverage off the opportunities afforded by the expansion of China and India into Africa?
Sure. I think what happened in December 2010, we see the invitation by the BRIC economies, South Africa, to be part of these BRIC economies. It's how do we, as you rightly say, leverage the opportunities that come about as a result of this engagement and interaction with many of these BRIC economies. And as I said today, I mean, we've got 1.3 billion Chinese, 1.2 billion Indians, and then 1 billion people that live on this continent of Africa. So 57% of the world's population being either Chinese, Indian or African. And so growth will effectively come largely from Asia, Africa and Latin America, these dynamic markets, these new emerging markets in the next 5-10 years. It's where are the opportunities that emanate from these BRIC economies? I think there are three types of opportunities. It's one, opportunities within China, within India, for many of our organizations and firms. And so many South African companies have been extremely successful. And you look at India as a test case. You've got First Rand being the first African bank to be granted a license in India. You've got SAB Miller, who's now the second largest brewer in India with a 38% market share. You've got Old Mutual and Sanlam doing a significant amount of trade in terms of the insurance sector in India. And so it's one, the opportunities for South African companies in these BRIC economies. The second one is how do we better align our interests? How do we utilize South Africa as a vantage point for investment onto the continent? I often say that the invitation by the BRIC economies into Africa is not only, or to South Africa, is not about South Africa with 49 million people. It's not altruistic in nature in that we like South Africa. It's about how do we utilize South Africa as a base and a vantage point for taking advantage of opportunities in SADC with 260 million people, and then in sub-Saharan Africa, and in Africa with in excess of 1 billion people.